says preparing to
Oh,
something.
content of this meeting is being sent to a third party. Okay.
Um, that
And
sounds ominous.
what are you doing with that? Or no, it just said it gave you that message, but doesn't say what that means.
I
Um,
think we're on YouTube now.
oh, okay. Let me refresh. I'm just curious to see. Yep, it says we're live on YouTube. So
Uh,
that's cool. You just did that through Zoom.
I think it's working.
Okay. And how do we see the chat if it happens? I guess I can pull that up and
Yeah, let's figure out how if we can see the
I
chat.
see. Yeah, I can see the chat by opening the link. So I'm turning down the volume so I don't hear get myself double.
Might as well.
I will put this link on my
Yeah, let's
Twitter
put it
really
on Twitter and stuff.
quick. Yeah, yeah. I'll do it.
And we'll grab a few people.
All right. Watch me put it in the Galaxy chat thing.
Too many windows open.
Oh, that's the story of my life.
There's quite a racket for Christmassy backgrounds for Zoom.
Oh,
Just
I bet. Do
find
they charge
something.
money for those or something? Or
Yeah, okay. I found some. I was looking for like game related ones, and they're all, $1, $2, which would be fine. But if you're just looking for something quick, but man, okay, I think we're good to go here. Are we?
uh, yeah, I'll
We got
just
four
slow this
people
down.
watching, so we better get
Four.
some content going.
Yeah, better get that.
Here, I'll make you. Do you want to run the show?
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat here, and we can add. Yeah, I can start, and then I'll throw this link in the chat so people know what we're talking about.
Make you the co-host. Oh, you showed your shirt earlier. Did you?
I
I
did.
wonder if you recognize what I've got on here.
Oh, okay. So you got showing off your. Oh, is that a grumpy cat?
Oh, maybe
No,
if I show you the back of it,
maybe.
I'll get my hair out of
Oh,
the.
is it Neon Cat? No, Rob Halford, Celestial. I don't know what any of that is.
He's the. I'll show you.
Okay. Now you're off camera.
Yeah, just a minute.
Okay, getting something. Demand
Oh,
content. Saying, oh, is it something from a Kickstarter? Is what Jeremiah is asking? Well, that's fun. We got some chat people.
and
Oh, I see. Yes. Now I get it.
the guy from Judas Priest.
Of course, Judas Priest guy. Yep. And Jeremiah in the chat is asking, is that from a Kickstarter?
Yeah, I think this is, as a matter of fact.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, there's so
Yeah,
many
this is what
cool.
I've always been saying that I need to find a record player because I got all these records, but I like the big artwork on these.
Yeah, no, I mean, they
Looks
were
great.
big enough where you can hang them on the wall as a, kind of a little print almost, right? They're that big. You can use it as, you can admire
Put
it for
him
the
under the
cover.
put a little Rob Halford under the tree. It's a
Yeah,
great little Christmas spirit.
that's right. Not so bad.
It's actually a really good album too, by the way.
Is he doing, is it Christmas music on the album or?
Yeah, he does kind of a metal. It sounds a lot
Okay,
like Judas Priest. I don't think it's his. Yeah, it's his nephew and his brother.
cool, cool. Okay, yeah, so it's a
But it's really
family
sweet. It's really
enterprise.
good. It's a good mix of like hard rock and stuff, but he also, when he wants to be sentimental and serious, he's
Nice.
got the chops for that too. Just a great album. I
So
mean, you
what
could
we
put that on at family dinner.
absolutely, yeah. I mean,
Anybody complains, kick them out.
so what we have here is the Matt Chat Christmas special, and you had this idea, Matt. It's your show, and I'm the other Matt. I'm the producer on the show. I've been the producer about 2 years now, I think, which is hard to believe.
Yeah, we're
Um,
two Matts.
but we've known each other for, in case people don't know, I used to write on one of Matt's old websites. He was involved with Armchair Arcade, which I wonder if that's online anymore. I don't think it is. Um, but yeah, so
Armchair Arcade. Yeah, that
it was
was.
an old, kind of retro gaming digital magazine thing, and been
That was
that's a
back when the internet was. You had to print it out on a dot matrix printer back
pretty
then.
much, yeah, yeah, no, it was like 2003, 2004, I think is when I started doing stuff on there, and I did an article on there about I think
You did the
RP
Dungeons and Desktops. You had
Dungeons and was you used the name for the book, yeah, Dungeons and Desktop for one of your books,
the name.
and I was so excited, and I'm like, oh, this is 10 pages. This is great. It's perfect. I've looked it over a million times, and I get it back from you and Bill, the editors of the site, and it had over 100 comments of things to correct. So that was a real sweet thing there. Oh, we got some more in the chat. Jeremiah, two Mats, a Hartra, Matt, chat. I like that. That's pretty good. And
That
so what
Bill
was
giving you all those comments?
mostly I would suspect, yeah. But so with this idea for the Matt Chat Christmas special, we had talked about it some yesterday to try to plan it out, and I think the idea you had was pretty good about what we're going to do here.
Thank you. That's why you're the assistant producer.
Yes, and so what it was, and I'll share the screen.
Oh, you want me
So
to talk about the idea? Or you
yeah, well, you can talk about the idea, then I'll start sharing the screen.
well, we were thinking about oh, we're getting a lot of comments here. Uh some Christmas gift ideas, basically some a gaming guide. Probably, hopefully, you have a little time during the holidays to do a little gaming, and you might be wondering what would Matt play? What would the other Matt play? What's cheap? And there's just so happens we're looking for ideas, I guess, and then we went to GOG, goodoldgames.com, and they had this huge winter sale going on. A lot of fantastic games for like a buck, or I think we saw some for $2 and less, right? But there's so many you might not even know where to start. So
Right, so we'll talk about some of our favorites, and some
yeah.
might be, GOG has, pretty much since the beginning had a mixture of, initially it's for retro games in the name Good Old Games, but they also have things here like um, indie games and newer games. And I mean, I think the sale is mainly the retro stuff, but there's so much here. This winter sale, 20 days, 11 hours, 23 minutes, and 29 seconds left.
Wow,
Now
they
it's
got it
28.
down to the second on
They
that.
got it to the second, no pressure there. We got some good things in the chat I'll cover, and then we can start kind of going through stuff on here. I think you can kind of shout out when a title looks good, or you can look on your end and see what would be good here, because it's hundreds and hundreds of titles they have here.
That the
Um,
first one there, Heroes 3 of Might and Magic Complete. Wow,
yeah,
what is
let's
that?
look at
$2? What's the price on that, Matt?
249. It's usually 9.99.
249. One
Yeah.
of the greatest games, one of the best games you're ever going to play. 250. I know there's like 18 of those Heroes games, but I think this is by far the best.
Now, what is it about the third one that is something that stands out? You got some pictures here.
I think that's just they had the I think by that point they'd figured out all of the details. The first couple it's kind of hit or miss, but here they had really figured out like what makes for the best Heroes game. They packed it in, lots and lots of options, lots of content. The art style, I actually like the art style of this the best.
Mm.
It's sort of, I guess, a more realistic, but not. Some of those later games are maybe too realistic. If that,
Yeah,
that
it
makes sense.
still has the fantasy look. It looks like from here
Yeah,
they used 3D, polygonal 3D rendering for the graphics, as opposed to sprites. So I think they can do some more with the lighting. I think it gives it a more distinct
it
look.
looks good. It plays good.
Looks good. The music is fun in those games. We
Oh
have
my
a
God, the music.
oh, it really adds to it, that sort of
It's worth
fantasy.
buying it just to hear those soundtracks.
That's
They are
right. The
gorgeous.
the orchestral stuff they got going on. We got some good things from the chat here. Earlier, you mentioned the Kickstarter album, and Fixed Land said a little Judas Priest in between Petula Clark and Andy Williams.
Oh,
So that's
I get it.
a pretty deep reference. Jeremiah mentioned your
That's the
book
money with
again.
some of the Christmas
Christmas
album
specials, or
collection there.
Annette Funicelli, or some of those people. But yeah, Jeremiah mentions the Dungeons and Desktop. Your book, you can still get that on Amazon, right? People can get that if they want to.
I hope so.
It should still be in print. I
We
can
should be
pull.
popping those.
I can
Yeah,
pull that up
I
real
got an
quick.
old one up there.
They have an old one up there. Okay.
Always a great let me see, I got a copy here.
Oh, you can show the real copy on the screen. That's better. Yeah. Got some more comments. Jeremiah says about GOG, it's DRM free, digital rights management free. Yep, that's a great point. And Steam itself is a DRM application. So yeah, I mean it's and GOG I think does a great job of making sure these games can run on modern systems relatively well, which is a tough thing to do, especially with Windows 11 and how radically the patches change stuff. From Michael, Merry Christmas, Mats. Thanks for the great content. And don't forget Christopher Lee's heavy metal albums from Bahototh. And yeah, I mean, Christopher Lee was in his 90s. He was near the end there, and he did a few heavy metal albums that were Christmas themed, I think, and the lyrics are changed. One, instead of Jingle Bell, it's Jingle Hell,
Yeah.
right? So, and
Isn't that Twisted Sister? Don't they have one pretty famous?
Yeah, Twisted Sister did a Christmas. Well, the Christmas albums always so well. I think that's part of why you see it. But the heavy metal and Christmas, that's a fun dichotomy. And it's live to Yarovok. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing this stuff. But yeah, we'll go for
No.
an hour.
You know if
This will
that
be
band Ghost ever did one?
Ghost might have. I wonder if
That'd be awesome.
the lead singer, one of the lead singers of Nightwish, went solo and did a Christmas album, and she has these kind of opera vocals with heavy metal and orchestral stuff in the instrumentation, and that's pretty cool. But yeah, and I want to point out this. We mentioned this when we were chatting offline yesterday. GOG preservation program. I'm still a little bit. I'm trying to get the GOG people on this show. Part of what I do in the show is help book people and come up with questions. So I think one day we'll get some people from GOG on here. I think that'd be great. But this preservation is something new they're doing, where it talks about what improvements they make for games. And certain games, I guess, that they consider have or excellent status or whatever, that they will always make sure these are kept up to date, even if the original developers don't support it anymore. And so they talk about even as recent as November 2024. I mean, Heroes and Might and Magic is well, probably 25 years old now or something. When did that come out? 1999, yeah. Blind Guardian,
A
yes.
couple years
That's
ago, yeah.
great, great band. But yeah, even November 2024, they're doing patches about making the intro work in the Russian or French version of the game, fixing the windowed mode through all the different versions. I mean, the stability
That
and
just shows you how much there is to this. A non-playing intro in a Russian and French
yeah, that's
localistic. I didn't
and
even know those existed.
well, they even added them as new things. See, in here in April
Oh, they added.
2019, Russian localization, Polish localization. Um,
This
they
might be
added
a new
stuff
game.
for the HD mod. But yeah, anyway, yeah, more companies should be doing what GOG is doing, and that we can get these old games legally at all, where you can pay, not that much money for them, and you're supporting the original developers or whatever publishers have the rights to it. I don't think the developers are getting money at this point necessarily, but
I don't know. At the very least, maybe people could look at the credits of those games and hire some of those people if they're looking for talent. I'm sure
yeah,
there's got to be
that's
some
true.
still around, I'm sure.
So these here at the top are part of their winter sale. It talks about bestsellers, more Heroes of Might and Magic, more Fallout is always good. But I want to pull out something here on the second page. This game is a bit. Oh, here's a good question from Michael. So if you've never played a Heroes of Might and Magic game, which one should you start with?
Three.
Three. Okay, the one we just looked at, three, where it's on sale for
Don't even
249.
worry about the other ones.
Yeah, don't worry about the other ones. You can just jump right into that. This game used to be one of my favorites. I have not played it in a long time. I don't know if it holds
A
up,
roller
but Roller
coaster.
Coaster Tycoon 2, the triple thrill pack. Again, this is on sale 75% off, $2.49.
A lot of ups and downs in that one.
A lot of ups and downs, a lot of loop de loops. And this is a game where you're building
Oh, that
theme
looks
parks
cool.
and coasters, and you can build the coasters incorrectly, and people die as they go on it, which I like to do. And it's also an economic simulator. So, I mean, it takes the kind of Sim City quasi educational business sim approach. And in some of these versions, oh, he says, okay, avoid the HD version of Heroes of Might and Magic 3 on Steam. That's what Jeremiah said. And that's a good point. Like on Steam, they don't do as good of a job as GOG as making sure it works on newer computers, or even that they have multiple versions of it.
Hmm.
So there's an HD version, I guess, that isn't as good. I haven't played that one.
They
But
probably messed
here,
up the face.
but here you can see, I mean, these different designs here. This looks like a regular sort of theme park. It looks like some underground Thunder Mountain Railroad thing going on. This is a parking lot, and yet there's things like a Ferris wheel. So something kind of more simple.
Looks really.
Um,
When did that game come out?
this one came out. I love they have the date of when it came out. 2002.
Okay.
from Chris Sawyer, who of course did railroad. I think he did some work in the railroad tycoon stuff back in the day
I'll
with
get him on the show.
He'd be good. I'll add that to my notes here. And yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon, it had branding with Six Flags. So they have some roller coasters that are in their parks, and it includes, because it's the triple thrill pack, it includes the two expansions, Wacky World and Time Twister, which is, yeah, and typically these games would have like an open-ended scenario mode where you can kind of sandbox, do what you want,
Mm.
or it has like a campaign of sorts where you have these very specific um, things you're trying to do where you're have to, get, I don't know, make $10,000 on the specific level that's been partially made for you, or you have to make a profit, or you have to build X amount of rides. So it's a lot of content there. A lot of I love this pixel isometric artwork. I think looks
Yeah.
really nice. A lot of good detail, and it's with the roller coaster stuff. It's just a fun theme. I know they've done
Sometimes
newer
adding a
games.
lot of 3D and first person stuff doesn't really add a lot to some of these games.
No, it doesn't. Linford Pickle Evening. Uh, welcome. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, this live one, this Christmas one's doing pretty popular. Have a lot of up to
There's
14 people watching.
hundreds and hundreds of
All these sort of things.
potential.
Okay. So what's another game on here on sale that's jumping out? We're just looking at
Oh,
bestsellers, but
oh, many
if we
things.
keep scrolling down, we can see.
You got looks like you got Dragon Age Origins there.
Yeah, do you like that one? You want to talk
You
about
know,
that
I
one?
liked it okay.
Okay, that's a ringing endorsement. You liked it, okay. It's $5. It
I haven't played
normally,
the latest one, so I don't know about that one, but I really like the characters in this one. I wasn't
the,
crazy about the combat.
yeah, the combat was a bit stiff. I mean, it felt like, they originally did Baldur's Gate on was it the Infinity engine, whatever that engine was called, with the isometric viewpoint where you have to
Yeah.
pause, issue the commands, and then unpause it. And the combat isn't as quite as snappy as you would like. What I liked about Dragon Age Origins, this first one, is at the beginning, depending on what race or class your character was, their origin section, like a little 2 hour opening, was different for your character. And I think there was like 6 or 7 of those, and that really added a lot. Did it change that much in the actual game? It could in some circumstances, but I think it really kind of put a custom stamp on how the first chunk of the game played, and it really added a lot of flavor and world building.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I played it all the way through. I think I played it maybe twice. You flip through those screenshots there for
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, I'll look at the
I'll look at
screenshots.
trying to see the character that
So you can, of course, Dragon Age, there's dragons in it.
there's a witch
And
character that I really, really liked. I don't know.
Morrigan, yeah,
Yeah,
she's
Morrigan.
cool.
Oh, she's so good. You ever watched a show called Blake Seven?
No,
Nobody's seen that.
it's,
But there's a character named Servalan. Just a really great villain. And she reminded me of her.
that's awesome. Someone
Since
here,
nobody knows what Blake Seven is, that'll I might as well not
yeah,
dwell on.
do it in the chat. Someone here is talking about Underrail. I guess that's something on sale. Why don't we look up and
What's
see what
popping
that is?
up there, man? Something popped up when you were looking at that game.
When I was looking at this one, let's see.
Yeah, what was that kept popping up? Is it some kind of super sale or what? What is that?
What is it? This thing right here? This is just the GOG preservation program. And this thing. Oh, it's the I have the Honey plugin on the browser where it
Oh,
tells me you can get cash back on certain things if you buy it on sale from participating sites. And someone just said Under Rail is
let's take a
something
look
pretty
at
cool.
Under.
I don't know what this is, but this sounds cool.
I
Or
had these
maybe
guys
this.
on the show a few years ago.
Oh, is this a interesting? So this is like a sci-fi sort of post-apocalyptic, looks like.
Pretty. Who's the developer on that?
We'll see here.
Stygian or what's their name? Stygian
Stygian, yep,
Soft.
there we go. Stygian Software. This is some more recent, so it's like an indie game that looks more like a early 2000s game. And this is the DLC, but yeah, the DLC is on sale. All of the Underrail games
That looks.
are on sale. Um,
I
I
like the way
guess
that they made their screen there. It looks neat with that font.
is Underrail early access or is it finished? It looks great, but something looks unfinished. I mean,
Is it still early access?
No, no, it's not early access. It looks, I get what you mean about like the look of it. It's a deliberate choice, I think, and also I don't think it's that many people making it, if I
No.
was to guess. Um, but this is what a lot of games looked like back in the day. This looks a little bit like Syndicate, actually,
Well, that's a good
with the
comparison.
perspective. I don't know about the gameplay.
Oh
Guess
my God, it was 8 years ago when I had Stig on to talk
eight
about.
years ago, Stick, maybe they got DLC and stuff still going for it, so that's cool. I mean, one that I'm sure is on sale is one of my favorite series is, yeah, Jagged Alliance.
A good
Um,
one.
the one I used to own, you can get for 59 cents. Is a weird multiplayer spin-off, Deadly Games. I don't know if you can get the multiplayer working, maybe with mods or something. But instead of having to go across the island and kind of like in some of the other games, this one it just was a straight up list of missions. But I used to play this with a friend in dial-up, and the gimmick with Jagged Alliance is it's with weaponry. Oh, we got something about the Underrail game. I guess now they're working on the sequel. Okay, so that makes sense. But yeah, Jagged Alliance, you pick mercenaries, kind of a Rambo sort of theme. But if the mercenaries they all have different personality types and different politics, and they come from different countries, and if they disagree with each other, they might get into arguments and shoot at each other in between rounds. And so, I mean, this is a hard as hell turn-based combat game.
Yeah, it's got
Really,
a lot of humor in this
a lot
too.
of humor. Yeah, the voice acting is funny. In this Deadly Games uh, version of it, they don't have him here, but one of the cast or one of the people you can hire, one of the mercs, they imply that he was the voice of Barney on the Barney show, and his voice is like, "Oh no, someone shot me." He sounds like kind of a cartoon
You're pretty
voice.
good at that voice, Matt.
Oh, thank you. A lot of practice, a lot of
Excited.
babysitting cousins. I love you, all that stuff. Jagged Alliance 3 is also 50% off. Yeah, and that's a
Put
better
this one
version.
on. Have you ever played a game called Cannon Fodder?
Yes, I bet you that's on sale. That one, yeah, that's more of a action,
Yeah, it kind of
right?
reminds me a little bit. It's like an earlier concept.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's on
one,
sale too. Look at that, $1.50.
$1.50. Yeah, I mean, this was
Oh,
that one is real-time action, but like, and yeah, it was had blood, it had a lot of explosions. This is from a British developer. Um,
yeah. What was
and
that? I have the
looks like
guy from this company on the show. Does it have his name there anywhere?
Cannon
John Hare.
Fodder.
John Hare's his name.
Okay.
But this the game has a really, really great song with a vocal.
Yes.
It was on the Amiga.
Yep.
And he actually played that song when I had him on the show.
Oh, that's cool.
He
He
had like
played
a
it
an
live.
acoustic guitar in the back and just pulls
Oh
it up. He
man.
starts playing it, and I'm like, whoa! I think that's one of my favorite Matt Chat moments ever.
John here, there you go. And yeah, Dustin, we'll pull up the one he mentioned here, Jagged Alliance 3, just so you get an idea of what the graphics look like. Well, actually, oh wow, this is the one from 2023, so this is a more recent version. But here, yeah, the graphics, are a lot more up to date.
Oh wow, that looks really detailed.
Same kind of gameplay.
Does this one have the
Um,
same kind of humor and
it should, yeah. I haven't played it, but I imagine the humor is such a big part of it. Of course, yeah, you have all the stats on the weapons and so forth.
good?
And
Oh, that looks
and
really
that's
cool.
really nice with the lighting. Yeah, that one just came out last year from THQ Nordic.
What kind of
Hamimont.
ratings does that have?
What kind of ratings?
Does it have a review? That's
Um,
got like a review thing somewhere, right? Tells you how many.
well, people, I guess, yeah, the user ratings
4.3.
4.3. That's not bad. So it says worth the wait, great fun, but poor design
Uh-oh.
decisions. Well, I could see that. I don't know. Yeah, right. This game looks like a worthy successful, but the amount of cattle manure the game stacks against you is quite a turnoff. That's funny. I mean, these games are very hard, right? I bet you that's what some of the negative stuff is.
Yeah,
Urgent patch.
that's a good illustration though. You could have a game with great graphics and everything, but if there's just certain little mechanics or fussy little things that they don't get right, it can mar the whole experience.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it looks like this is humor. What this character is called DD Bombastic. You can bring her parts. She makes some boom toys.
Boom
I guess
toy.
she's like a store or something in the game. And
Death.
then, oh, this is great with the, yeah, that looks cool. I forgot this one came out.
It looks a bit like Wasteland 3 or 4.
It does, yeah. Because you had some of those guys on too, right? Some of the Wasteland
Oh yeah, I had Fargo on.
people.
I don't
And
know who
then,
else I've had on. It's one of my. I really love those Wasteland games.
well, then earlier this year you had on Michael A. Stackpole, I think,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And he
I
wrote
did
the
that one.
Wasteland and um, some of those X-Wing books and stuff. What is
That's
the
a
win?
great episode.
What is the Winter Sail? Oh, come on.
Hearts of 4 is insane.
Oh, no, we can look that one up. I mean, I'm fine doing request from the people.
I don't
Hearts
know
of
that series.
It's World War One, maybe. Is it four? Let's it. Okay, so let's assume it's this Darkest Hour Hearts of Iron game on sale for $2. Hard to beat that. It's a standalone game. Play the Great War until the onset of the Cold War. Oh, this is really old school. See, so with the
Yeah,
hex based, looks like Panzer General kind of stuff.
we're going back to.
I mean, you talk about shit. Look at that map, man. That's
Oh my God, what's the name of that old strategy board games? Risk.
Risk. Yes,
That's
sure.
kind of you're getting
There's
vibes of
Risk
Risk off of this.
was a big one.
Robert
Wow,
Al.
I mean, so this looks. If you really want to get into the weeds, this is.
I like Ike.
And this is, time to beat the game completion is 95.5 hours. So for 199, you divide that by 95 hours, that's
Yeah.
1 cent a penny an hour. You can't, that's
Well,
pretty good value.
the people that are really into this genre, I mean, they really get into this. I get there's a couple of Matt Chat fans, and they'll write in from time to time, and they really want me to, review like some really obscure looking uh, naval strategy games and stuff, and it's it's just like this, very technical looking. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure that would take me at least a couple weeks to learn how to play that game.
I bet, yeah, the game didn't come out in time for my, well, here, I'll grab my book since you grabbed yours earlier. Hold on.
Yeah, we got to show your Star Trek book.
Have this game from White Owl Books, Star Trek video
Why don't
games.
you turn off the screen share for a second, man, and then you can
Oh,
really
that's true. Yeah, that'd be
get
helpful
a
if they
good
could
look at that
see it.
sucker. Look at this.
So we
Look,
got, yeah, Star Trek video games, unofficial guide to the final frontier. Someone told me this looks like King of the Hill Star Trek on the front, which I can't unsee that, but that's a pretty good comparison. But this, I got this done through White Owl Books. They're a UK publisher. And so it has, pictures and write-ups on the games and some interviews with people like Michael A. Stackpole, Scott Miller, um, some journalist, Kat Bailey, who, she's been the editor of everything from Kotaku to, I think IGN, she's a games news editor now, but she was back at OneUp.com back in the day. So, yeah, that's
that'd
my
be a
book.
great little item for the Christmas tree, don't
Oh,
you
I
think?
think so. Well, the
Stocking
retail
stuffer.
for this originally was $39.95, but you can get it now for just $13.05 in hardcover.
You can get that for $13.
You can get it for $13.
Where do you go?
Amazon, and you just look up Star Trek
Right on
video
Amazon.
games book.
Holy,
So that's a heck of a deal. I don't, as far as whether the discount is from the publisher or from Amazon, I would guess from Amazon, but I'm not complaining. I've bought some more copies from my own collection just so I can sign them and sell them later. So
good idea. That's dirt cheap.
it is.
Full
It is.
color hardcover? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's cheaper than my discount I get from the publisher. So,
Yeah, those aren't as great as you would like sometimes.
well, it's the shipping associated with it, and with this being a UK publisher, shipping from the UK is painful.
I mean,
I
the
think it's
publisher I've worked with, it's a pretty good discount, but to really get a good deal, you have to order like 100 or even 1,000
exactly,
copies. And
yeah,
I'm like, what am I gonna do with 1,000 copies?
right. So we've taken some, I've talked, some from Linford Pickle. Do I have a YouTube channel? I do. If you look up MATWBT on YouTube, it should be, I can actually just open it up here so you can see. I should do more on it. It's been a while. I used to do I was doing some news about those Final Fantasy Pixel remasters a while back, but maybe I'll do like writing focused stuff since I've written, I don't know, like 7 books. It's this MATWBT thing, youtube.com. So if you want to check that out, I haven't done something in, geez, like what is it, 6 months? It's been a long time, so I should do more there. But I was streaming some older games like Aliens, a comic book adventure, uh, some of the Star Trek stuff.
What's that
So
Aliens game? Is that Commodore?
no, uh, it looks like it, but it's
I remember playing one.
actually, it says Aliens, but I'm streaming Shogun, the text adventure from Infocom. Excuse me.
I
So
played an Alien game on my Commodore 64 back in the day, and it was text only, but it seemed like it had sound effects. Scary.
yeah,
God. Oh, that thing was terrifying.
sounds about right. So I mean, we've taken up seeing Dizzy on my channel. Maybe the sound is playing double, but I think we're fine. But okay, so what we're doing here,
Get back to that bestseller list if we can.
bestseller list. Okay.
I think we pointed out maybe a couple of games we could do better. All right,
Absolutely.
let's go to the, yeah, there we go. Winter sale.
It's winter sale. Oh, I see. I'll take off the catalog
Oh, they've
part.
got, we can go through, I think we'll go through 6,729.
Yeah, we can do that in about 30 more minutes.
Okay,
Sounds
I've got
good.
the heroes
But
we talked about. Fallout 4 is a great choice, I think.
Fallout 4, yeah, we can do Fallout 4 for a
Fallout
second.
3, do they have the first couple Fallouts? Oh, that New Vegas is there.
New Vegas is there. They
That's a
should
good.
have the first few Fallouts. I think they're just trying to get newer stuff, but we can, yeah, which one of those Fallouts do you want to talk about?
I would play the first one if it's available, but otherwise, that New Vegas is certainly a good choice.
New Vegas people really like the different factions on there that you can meet up with. Did you see the Fallout show that was on Amazon Prime?
What's the first episode of it?
Oh, it's good, I thought. It's a original kind of story, which I thought was smart because then you don't have people complaining about it's not the
I
same as
was
the
worried
game.
about it, like, oh my God, you know how they tend to video game related stuff tends to suck, but no, 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 it was good. I
It
enjoyed it. I
it
just haven't
it
gotten
it
around to watching the rest of the.
yeah, it captures the violence and the humor of the show, and I think it's accessible for people that haven't played the game. Sometimes they try to get too nerdy. Raven Pros, this is a good note. GOG is great, so many games. I've been playing Dungeon Keeper for the first time
It's a good
lately.
game.
Dungeon Keeper is a good simulation where you're trying to kill the heroes and knights that come in.
Yeah, it kind of takes that old dungeon crawler, but reverses it. So now you're the one running the dungeon.
That's right.
Really clever.
And here, I mean, I should play Fallout New Vegas again because I've been to Las Vegas quite a few times, sometimes on business. And so I think I'd get some of the jokes or kind of the juxtaposition of what it's like to see these Vegas locations.
I think this was Chris Avalon that did this.
I think so. That sounds about right to me.
All right.
Um,
Pretty sure.
Obsidian,
Do
Bethesda.
maybe do they does GOG list the developers anywhere?
It doesn't. They should. And then it's tricky at that point. Like, which developers do you list? Zerovox says, "Don't think too much about the show, or you will get angry. A lot of it makes no sense according to the lore." I could see that being the case. I mean, there's a lot of detailed Fallout lore, but at the same time, I think they told a pretty accessible sort of story set. I don't even know when it's set as far as the timeline, but um, I think it's a good job kind of introducing that world to people and not.
The ghoul at the end turns out to be a really neat character.
Yes, yeah, the ghoul is cool. Kyle MacLachlan is in it from Twin Peaks. He's not in it very much, but he's in it. So we have.
What else do we have?
What are some other things?
Other Skyrim. Is there anybody here that
No.
hasn't played Skyrim?
uh,
Probably
Dave
the worst CRPG of all time. Would you say, Matt?
Skyrim.
Yeah, horrible.
I didn't like it much either. I think part of it is, well, I don't know. I think the first person perspective, unless it's like wizardry or might and magic like the old ones, I have a hard time getting into with RPGs. Um, and with Skyrim, I don't think it had a good opening as Oblivion did, and some of the other ones. It
Almost
just
like
seemed,
you're on a cart with
yeah, you're like getting arrested, and then I don't
yeah.
know, a dragon comes. Um,
I just
but
kidding. I mean, it's probably one of the most popular role-playing games ever, huh?
It's oh, that's a good picture there with the yeah, maybe I just need to play it again. It's
Oh,
been a
looks
long
pretty good.
time. But with Skyrim,
I call it the
this is
potato
like
game.
Grand Theft Auto 5, right? Where they keep re-releasing it every 2 years and they don't do a number six. So we got some interesting comments here about Fallout. Tim Kaine, his YouTube channel is Pure Gold.
Oh, that's well, yeah, he's the creator of
He's the
Fallout.
creator of it, right?
WRC.
And Zerovox says, of course, his channel is not as good as Matt Chat. Well, that's very nice.
I don't. I would. That's a good. I don't know how I feel about that. He has talked about Match Chat on his channel though, which is really neat.
That's great. Now, this one looks interesting. I haven't played this, but Jeremiah says he prefers Morrowind. I think I do as well, the third one. This is a RoboCop game that came out,
Yeah, I've been looking at that one.
knocked down to $20. They got Peter Weller back to do RoboCop.
Oh, wow,
And
cool. You
it's
had me
it's
there.
yeah, it's super super violent like the original movie.
Oh my God. You know what I
I
did, Matt? I
what?
was when this game came out, I wanted to go back and rewatch the movies.
Yes.
So I went back and rewatched the movies and I forgot to buy the game.
About to get the game. What, $20? I think that's a good price
Yeah.
for this sort of thing. You never know what the license title. Tom said in the chat, someone once said the best Elder Scroll game you play is whatever the first one that you played was,
Well, that
which
makes sense because my
I
favorite
think
was
that's fair. And Jeremiah it says he gives thumbs up on this RoboCop Rogue City game. He says it's great, feels like the movie. Um,
I've
it's
heard
first
nothing but good
person.
things about it. It looks like they even did the newscasters. That
The
was one of the fun
newscaster, that's too
parts.
funny.
The movies
Yeah.
was the news.
The new stuff at the beginning. I went to college at my bachelor's is from SCAD, Savannah College Art and Design, and Ed Newmeyer, the co-writer of RoboCop, came to speak at the college one time. So I got to see him talk. He didn't talk RoboCop, unfortunately. He was promoting um, Starship Troopers 2, Heroes of the Federation. It was one of the direct-to-video sequels.
Is RoboCop or Starship Troopers 2?
And but with them was the
Was
director of the
RoboCop based on did he write a novel or was it
no.
he
Mm-mm.
just
I
went
mean,
straight
it's a ripoff of Judge Dredd, I think, in a lot of ways, but it's
in?
not wasn't based off a book or anything.
Oh, by the way, go back to that game you were clicking on there.
Which one?
RimWorld.
Oh,
It's right at the
sure.
top
Yeah,
left.
at the top. Yeah.
Oh, this really
I don't think I've
solid.
played this one. This one's cool. RimWorld from let's see,
I
2018. Okay, so
love
not
this game. I probably sunk 100, 300 hours into this.
oh, okay. So is it what is it like resource management or what is it that you're doing?
Yeah, how did they describe it? A colony sim?
Colony Sim. Okay, that's cool.
It doesn't look a whole. It's kind of like if you like games like Dwarf Fortress,
Yeah,
uh,
it looks a little bit like FTL a bit.
yeah, that sort of thing. It doesn't look like much, but man, once you get in this,
I could see that, sure.
oh,
Looks like no lack of inventory or people to
really
manage or
flex, and there's just
manage the colonist moods,
this
craft,
is
a
one
lot of
of those.
crafting,
Oh,
of
I'll sit
course.
down and play this for a couple hours.
Oh, and
And
then
you
you
know,
look
it's like 7
outside.
in the morning.
Yes.
Don't buy that game if you have to get up early the next day.
So we're looking more of
Broken
these.
Sword there. That's a good one.
Broken Sword, yeah, and this is the remake of it,
Oh,
where
there's a
they added some more puzzles to the beginning. They redid some of the portrait art, but they still have like the animation stuff too. It's an interesting kind of approach to it.
yeah, you were going to get this guy on the show.
I his people have expressed interest. Charles Cecil is the producer and I think writer of these games. I think just with the holidays, it's making things slow. But yeah, I'll follow up with these people
And
again.
these are really good point
But
and
I
clicks.
especially the opening with the you have like a clown terrorist or something setting off a bomb in front of this cafe, and it's the European setting, and you have an American. George is this kind of boring American dude, and then the lady with the sexy French accent. I mean, it's good kind of interplay between the two. Um,
A while
and
since I've played these. How
and the
puzzles?
animation of it really looks like the Don Bluth cartoons is what it reminded me of, I think, with the character designs like Secret of Nim or something like that. It's
Yeah.
just really I mean, yeah, so I think the backgrounds they redid in this version added some more details with the lighting, and then you have the cell animation kind of mapped on top of it. But yeah, these are very good and I think kind of more mature subject matter. In a way, I wish like the Gabriel Knight games would have looked like this.
Yeah.
I think that would have been cool. But
I remember liking these. I just, sometimes these kind of games can suffer from that crack pipe puzzle problem.
yes, where it's guess what the developer is
I don't
smoking as
think
they
that's true about that series, but it's been a while.
every I don't know, every adventure game has a puzzle like that where it's sort of unfair and you're not sure what's going on. So we looked at some of the best sellers here, but there's more, of course.
Oh, there's that new. Oh, no, that's not the new Indiana Jones. That's the Fate of Atlantis. That's another one of the. If you haven't played this,
Yeah, this
oh
one's
my God,
great. Only
dude,
$2. This
frickin'
was
get it.
yeah, this was LucasArts when they were, at around the time of Monkey Island 1 and 2. I think they were kind of in their prime doing this sort of game at the time. And it's
This is better than some of the movies, to be honest.
easy. Yeah, easy. I think it's better than over half the Indiana Jones movies. And it has voice acting. The version I had as a kid wasn't with the voice acting. It just was with diskettes on the old 386. It was PC speaker music at that. But yeah, this yeah, Sophia Hapgood is the lady in this one, and once you get past the opening area, you can choose one of three paths. So you could basically beat the game three different ways, where it's more action or more puzzles or more co-op kind of stuff with this character. So it gets the globe-trotting thing right. You're fighting against crazy Nazi scientists trying to get Orichalcum from what is it, Plato or something? This the source of ultimate power, and you eventually do get to Atlantis, although it takes time. And yeah, this one I wish they would have done is they could have used this as a plot for one of the movies. Easy.
It's so good. It's so well done.
Did you have the designer of this on your show, Hal Barwood?
No, I don't think so. I should
He'd be
definitely.
good. He did this. He directed the live action stuff on Rebel Assault 2. He's had kind of a
We
eclectic
worked on
career.
that. That's enough for me.
Yep, yep. Um,
Of course, there's Monkey Island. I'm sure
Monkey
everybody's.
Island, people know that. Oh, this was, we talked about this yesterday. The Might and Magic 1 through 6
Oh,
pack,
yeah.
two
This is.
49.
Oh man, this is another one of those where just the nostalgia factor.
The nostalgia, the pictures
I
they're
love
showing
this. I
are
mean, this
just
is my
from
favorite one.
6, but you're using
Nobody on the
photos of, I assume, developers with some kind of filter on it, and you can see the different armor on
Now, somebody
there.
on the chat was talking about how your first Elder Scrolls game is your favorite.
That's right.
I think the same is true for Might and Magic because I played the sixth
Mm.
one first, and I love it. I know it's cheesy, but it's just great.
And you can
I
see
think
the
that's
different
about the third one there.
in this art style. Is that the third one right here, maybe? Yeah, this with and I mean
These
these,
guys, they had the best sound and music.
yeah,
Even like the sound effects are just so perfect.
the sound effect, and then you have the wizardry games where it's just you're doing, which are great for what it is, but it's just a dungeon, right? You're going floor by floor. But Might and Magic, you'd have dungeons. You could really explore the whole world. It had a bit of a science fiction element if you get far enough in it with these games. Just the scope of these things. You could play this for hours and hours and hours.
Cool dungeons and
Cool dungeons,
like a
cool
wolf, and there's like pyramids and
cool designs.
lots of variety. I mean,
It's Might
oh,
and
it's making me
Magic.
want to play.
Yeah, I think it's Might and Magic, isn't it? Where is it 4 and 5 where you can link the games together? Clouds of Zine or something. You could
Yeah, they've
transport from
got
one game
worlds
to
of scene.
another.
I think you connect them
Worlds
all.
of Zine, right, right. So we got some comments about games in here. Good stuff from the chat. Linford Pickle said, "I'm playing through Might and Magic 6, but I got too stuck to continue."
Two
That's
stuff.
why. Well, you can look on Game Facts, or you could maybe you gotta level up a bit. Raven Pros, my friend was obsessed with Might and Magic 6. There you go. Yeah, the PC Gamer at the time was all over
Yeah.
Might and Magic 6. I mean, that was a real standout RPG title for the PC. Chris has this, is interesting. Remember Android Nim on the Commodore 64? I would edit the text in the programming and add in profanity as a kid. I have to look that up because I don't know what that is, but I'm sure Android Nim C64.
Supposedly as a kid. I bet they still do.
Maybe they probably still do. Yeah. I
Android NIM, where is it?
I cannot see. Oh, I said ROM. Well, that would, yeah, that's not the same thing. Nim
Thought you
C.
were talking about the secrets of NIM.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it is Lemon 64.
That.
I don't know what the heck this is. Do you need instruction? Okay, so those are
What
which row
the
do
hell
you
are we
need
looking at?
instructions? I don't know what the hell we're looking at. This is from 1983, so this is very old. Brain, it says it's a brain logical game. And this site, Lemon 64, the webmaster has been running it for over 26 years.
It looks a little bit like maybe a game like Mule.
Could be, I have no idea. I don't know what this is, but I'm that's cool that you could make that reference to that game, and it's basic but entertaining. Okay,
That's
that makes sense.
hardcore.
That's talk about a deep cut, man. Wow. And then Dave says you can link Might and Magic 6 through 8 with some mods. That makes sense. Um,
You do? Oh, you can link 6 through 8 with some mods.
yeah,
That
so
would be cool.
that makes sense. They're doing this is neat. So as part of this GOG winter sale, they'd have every day through the end of the year, end of the month, I guess, end of December, they have different stuff you can download. One is a wallpaper pack, seasonal wallpaper pack.
Kind of an
Uh,
advent calendar type of.
right, these are oh they got a giveaway on these games. Like this game is free.
Oh, that's a good one. I played this one.
Is it Whispered World? Yeah. Oh, that looks nice. With
Yeah, it's
the
really.
it's a good character design stuff. Cool. Never heard that one. And this is from 2014. Okay, so 10
Uh,
years old at this point.
graphical adventure games. I don't know what it's like now, but I remember there was a bunch coming out in Europe. They didn't get very popular here, I don't think. But
No, Germany is still one of the top markets for that. I love it when games have this. I wish more games had developers commentary
yeah,
where you can collect. They have a little mode where you can collect things.
I guess even having the developers' names on it somewhere is helpful.
Right. So here, yeah, the number of games GOG has on sale is 6,729. So no doubt you can find something. I don't, and you can. I love that you can sort it. Like, what if
Oh, XCOM 2.
XCOM 2? Yeah, we can pull that up. That's a.
Now
I'm gonna say
this,
it's.
well, I like the first one too. Why do they have that one with only 4 stars? What the hell?
People have to complain about something. I think what
This
was really
game is awesome.
Yeah, what I think was really cool, what they added to these newer XCOM games is when you tell your guys to do your action, it looks like a movie where like it's showing the camera of your guy running, jumping over, ducking behind a thing and shooting at him. It's really good design. It keeps, the difficulty maybe a little bit more accessible than the old games, but it's that satisfying gameplay loop of you pick the site that you want to go to and you want to keep your guys alive and you want to just do just
They
one
all
more
level
mission,
up, get better gear, you get
level up, better
all
gear, of course.
technologies. It's got a lot of great mechanics.
A lot of great mechanics there. Oh, what is that one?
Arkanoid. Remember that?
Arkanoid? What is that with the, was that on
Well,
here?
up there somewhere. Looks like they got a new version.
I
We
haven't
used
thought
to
about
play, my
Arkanoid
sister and I played the hell out of this on the Amiga.
of the old one. Yeah, this came out 2022. This is a pretty recent. How about that? But it looks okay. So Arkanoid for 89
It's an
cents, an
arcade game.
updated version. Yeah, Eternal Battle. It's got to keeps on popping up with these damn coupons here. Um, so
I
some's on the
bought a
side. Some
trackball just to play this.
That's right. Yeah, you did the trackball. That was good. Um,
Now what else we got? A lot of adventure games on here.
a lot of adventure games. A lot of this is just doing it by default. It's doing it by. Oh, this is kind of bizarre. I don't haven't played these, but I guess they did a bunch of Asterix platformers. Hmm.
Huh.
Again, this is something that's bigger in Europe than in the States, but yeah, these are.
Yeah, I was thinking this got a very European flavor to it. Wait, have
They
I?
must have. Did they ever do games based on the Tintin comics, or is it Tantan? How do you pronounce it? The
Oh, sure.
sure there must be something. This one I reviewed on Steam a while back. Beat Cop for 149. It's a really politically incorrect police simulator with these
General
levels.
Lee there?
Yes, yep, generally is there. Um, and you have these very specific missions, and it's like it's a time management. And if you don't do everything and solve the puzzles quick enough, you have to start the level over. But I really like this style of graphics. It to me is just really pleasing, and just some of the scenarios in this are ridiculous. It feels a little bit like kind of a simpler Space Quest.
That looks a lot like Police Quest.
Or yeah, Police Quest. Yeah, it does. Yeah, and in this, I think the language in this can be a bit harsh, but it's kind of making fun of the '80s stuff, and people are getting shot, and you got to chase after them, and or do you decide to get this guy for parking in the illegal parking spot? It's like that kind of, but the clock is always ticking. I remember over here with this
A
one.
lot of
So
great movies about like Beverly Hills Cop and
yes,
what's
Beverly Hills
with
Cop.
Mel Gibson and Lethal Weapon.
Lethal Weapon, yeah. They're supposed to be doing, and this isn't a joke. Mel Gibson, they asked him, "What are you doing next?" And he says, "It depends what we can get the money for, but it's either Lethal Weapon 5 or Passion of the Christ 2,
The Passion of the Christ too.
The Resurrection, where he comes
Oh well,
back,
I
I
guess
guess."
I guess so.
That first one made like almost $1 billion. It did crazy good. Let's see
Yeah, it was
more.
kind of a sleeper hit, I think. Oh, I think I
Yeah,
saw Portal down there somewhere. That's a really good. Yeah, Deponia
Portal.
is good.
Oh, we can. Yeah, I don't know about that one. What's that? Deponia? Is that a
That's yet
adventure
another one of
game
those
again?
graphical adventure games.
Okay, cool. Yeah, with this
Yeah, I played this one all the way through.
kind of nice art style there. Again, looks I'd say this looks more kind of steampunk. Again, kind of a European thing
They
going
really
on. Yeah,
nailed that cartoon look.
yeah,
Yeah, the tradition of Douglas Adams, Terry Pratchett, Matt Groening.
I could see that. Sure, Daedalic Entertainment. Um, that's cool.
There's a bunch of those. Wow. Held
Oh,
this
this game is highly disturbing. I got a review copy of this too once. Dropsy.
highly disturbing, huh?
It's an adventure game where you play this creepy clown, and the pixels are done to look really hideous, and it does feel like a Twin Peaks sort of David Lynch thing, just in how disturbing it is. And the characters, it's a bit like Goblins, where the characters don't speak in English; they just kind of make noises.
That looks really weird.
Yeah, I don't. It's for a particular taste. Oh, there you go with his pants. So whether I'd recommend this, I don't know, but it's certainly one of a kind.
Yeah. Speaking of crack pipes, Fear Effect. There's the Europa series.
This
Three
one's
Skulls Westerner. Some of these are pretty, it looks like kind of obscure.
obscure kind of indie titles, some of these, and then mixture of old and new.
Flashback's a good one.
Flashback was good. Hitman. Yeah, it looks a bit like William Gacy. That's a good point. Um, Holy Potatoes, a weapon shop. I don't know what some of the, I mean, there's so many titles. It's hard to complain at this price.
Jack Keane, I played those. Here's
Oh
your
yeah,
Jack
is that
Lance. Yeah, it's yet another one of those kind of.
oh, you have a type, I guess. Yeah, so this kind of cartoony, humorous adventure. Yeah, it looks kind of Indiana Jones looking, sort of, with the hat. And
Yeah, there's a lot more of these than you might realize.
I think, yeah, I think you're proving that to me. It's one of those things that's sort of surprising out there how many. This one I thought was kind of overlooked. This German developer made some Leisure Suit Larry games
With
in 2020, and once
Dream,
I chatted with Ken Williams about these, and he said Al Lowe actually thought these were pretty good as far as the Leisure Suit Larry games go, because he's been critical about stuff. They have the original voice of Leisure Suit Larry from the CD-ROM games. Unfortunately, that actor died recently, but
oh,
uh,
that's
they did two of these, and it's with the premise that he's coming into the modern world and he's out of date. I think he's literally taken out of like a cryo sleep or something in the first one of these kind of reboots. But it keeps the sense of humor and tries to adapt it for a modern audience, and I think it's pretty successful. There's also pretty subtle symbolism here, so,
subtle.
so
Yeah, it's very subtle, man.
very
Oh,
subtle. So So there you go, kind of a different thing going
This
on.
looks
But
pretty
that's
funny.
but this one's pretty funny. It has voice acting. It's they did two of these. I don't know if they wanted to do a third or how long they had the rights for. Oh, this is from CK. This is good. Nice. I would like to see them remake King's Quest and Space Quest in that style. Yeah, that would be cool. So we got, I can go about 10 more minutes here.
Do a couple more.
So we can do a few more of these. Ever play Mega Race?
No, I don't think so.
That came with my
What is a full
CD-ROM
motion video?
computer. It has full motion video, kind of RoboCop style mission briefings. And
Interesting.
this character's name is Lance Boyle. That's the kind of humor they go for. Um,
Uh,
and I mean, this is really, I mean, it doesn't look like much now, but at the time, this was kind of a big deal for this arcade style racer on your computer. It had cool kind of 90s techno music. You could upgrade your ship, or your, not the ship, the car between levels.
I haven't
Um,
gotten into a game like this. I used to play a lot of rock and roll racing and
yeah, this isn't nearly as good as that, but it's sort of a
stunt car racer.
similar aesthetic going on. Um, Here, how
There's
about you?
Nox Archaeist. We got to mention that one.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's
This is perfect for people that like
from
match.
old school games, right? Yeah, Becky worked on that one. That's just amazing that you can do a game like this in that art style that's such a throwback, and it does really well, and you do DLC for it, and I think giving yourself these limitations makes the games more creative in a way because you can't really do whatever you want. Like you can, because when you're trying to do realism at a certain point, it's like, okay, stuff looks pretty realistic. How much more can you push it? Or you're making kind of advances in yeah, the guy in Mega Race looked like Don Knotts' brother. That's a good point. I miss 90s FMV full motion video. Me too, Raven Pros. I think about the full motion video stuff a lot. Um,
Met this developer of this one that you're showing.
oh yeah.
Nox. Yeah, he came to my house.
Oh
Apparently,
wow.
he does a lot of hiking up mountains and stuff, and he's really
Okay,
into like that sort of thing, treks. And I guess he was passing through. We hung
that's
out
cool.
together, had some. We did a fun little skit. He gave me a copy of his game.
That's
But
nice. I
yeah,
got it.
he's really. I mean, he's just so passionate about that.
I think you'd have to be. It's just I wish Nox wasn't that blurry. I think it looks more blurry kind of in the screenshots than when you're playing it maybe. Punk Wars. Well, I mean, there's all sorts of. It's not. I'm not sure what it's doing
I
with
like
the
that game
order.
there, Return to Mysterious Island. That's the second one. It's about pretty.
Yeah, 79 cents. Wow. Can't
This is a
complain with
really
that price.
solid little game here.
So you're okay, you're on an island, a lot of exploration and puzzles.
You know, when I
Um,
first got married, back when my wife was still trying to butter me up, we play a lot of games together. And
yep,
this was one that we both just really liked.
that's cool. I mean, yeah, even today, I think, the texturing on that fur for the monkeys looks good, and there's something with the island setting that's always
Good music.
nice. Good music. Yeah, the music, I think,
Yeah, I think it's the I
helps.
love an island setting. When you live in a place like Minnesota, you don't
Mm,
want to play a game set in a winter wasteland.
no, no, you want all the
You want
sunshine you
something
can get.
pleasant.
Sherlock Holmes, there's a whole lot of these.
Yeah, well, and lots
Or
of those and Poirot.
yes, Hercule
No
Poirot, the
surprise
Agatha
there.
Christie. What else do we have? Let's keep going.
The Still Life series is good.
Still Life, that's another.
Whoa, go back, go
What? Which
back,
one?
back.
Back? Okay.
Oh no, 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 no.
Nope.
Go
Okay.
back to the page. Up in the middle there.
Stories Untold.
No, up.
Steel Rats.
Oh, what is this?
Oh, it has rats in it. You're right. Let's see.
What is this?
A visceral and
What is
groundbreaking
this?
evolution of the 2D action adventure genre, motorbike combat. Well, that looks fun.
Like a rollerball type game?
I guess so. Death-defying stunt gameplay. Switch between. Well, that's a hell of a logo. Look at that with
Where
the
do the
rat.
rats come
Uh, it's the name of a biker game. I see.
in? Oh,
So you don't play as rats that make it what is it? Rats from Mars or Biker Mice from Mars. That was an old cartoon.
Yeah,
Um,
biker mice from
but
Mars.
yeah, you play as one of these four people. I guess they have special weapons. Um,
I thought it was you were a rat, but I guess you're just a.
that'd be cooler
Well,
if
that's not as exciting as I thought it was. They get you with those titles.
they do. We can do about
There's a Dark Eye game up there. I bet people don't know about that
five
one.
minutes more. Dark Eye is really obscure. This one, right?
And there's some of these are role-playing games. I think this one is a. Is this the role-playing one? There's a
This one
role-playing
says that it's an
and an
adventure
adventure.
one. Um, that's really good detail on that artwork there. Wow, look at that with the.
Yeah, this is like the Dungeons and Dragons of Germany, right?
I think so. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. More 25 years. The Dark Eye is one of Europe's best known RPG brands. In addition to pen and paper adventures, they've done a lot of computer games. Okay, makes sense. Right. So one I want to look for that I bet you they have is
Phantasmagoria.
no. I mean, I do like that one. This one, I don't think it's a great game, but I like what it tried to do. Is
Toonstruck.
Toonstruck. It starred. You mentioned the full motion video made me think of it. It starred Christopher Lloyd
Ah,
from Back to the
Christopher.
Future in the lead, and he's an animator sucked into a
Oh, that
cartoon
was like Day of
world.
the Tentacle.
It does look like Day of the Tentacle. So the puzzles in this one are very obtuse. I don't know how well it holds up, but the gimmick of a full motion video guy and the cartoon people
Oh, it's like a Roger Rabbit.
is a Roger Rabbit sort of thing.
That is a
Um,
really good idea.
yeah, I mean this game was a huge flop at the time. They lost millions on this, and the game that came out with was only half the game.
They
They had
lost
to
millions.
Yeah, they lost because it got delayed because of the all the hand-drawn animation and they switched engines and stuff. And then when it came out, it was at the end of 96. So you still had graphic adventures, but it wasn't it was more computer gaming was more about like first-person shooters and
Oh, look at that cast on that.
yeah,
Christopher
yeah,
Lloyd, Dom
Christopher Lloyd,
DeLuise, Tim Curry's
Tim
in.
Curry does is the bad guy in it. Dan Castellaneta, the voice of Homer Simpson, is one of the main characters on here. Is your little purple guy here called Flux, kind of a Sam and Max kind of character. You're at the Irish bar, so of course the cartoon looks like a shamrock with the well, that's a Scottish thing, I guess, a Scot with the kilts. So excuse me, but I mean this game just has a lot of good detail. Is it's has its sense of humor. It's kind of nuts, but
That's a good example too of a game. I bet
in a
that would
good
be a
way.
nightmare to try to set up with the original discs and stuff.
I bet so, yeah, with all the, especially, yeah, when I worked on the Star Trek book, getting anything from like the Windows 95, 98 era, at the time, you had all the different video cards and drivers, it was difficult to do it on modern systems. I think there's some emulators like DXWND or something that makes it a little bit easier, but it's still a lot of trial and error getting those things to work.
That's a good one there, Vaporum.
Vaporum, okay.
Yeah, something
Uh,
like that. You could just get
Steampunk Dungeon crawler. Interesting. So this looks a little more recent. 2017, so not that recent, but a dungeon crawler.
yeah, so as I
Um,
recall, this is kind of like Legend of Grimrock.
oh, okay, yeah. So first, yeah, it looks like first person, of course, and except this is not a fantasy setting. It looks like it's more kind of Fallout looking. Someone mentioned Puzzle of Flesh. I guess we can pull that up since he mentioned Phantasmagoria. And Jeremiah says Nox Archaist is fun, only 99 cents. Right. So
Yeah, I would pick that one up just to support the guy.
someone said Phantasmagoria, but instead I'm going to pull up something else, which is one of my series. It's not on sale, but this is still a good price. Quest for Glory 1 through 5 for $10.
Wow.
This was, I think, one of the better things Sierra did, maybe this and Gabriel Knight, and it combined adventure game stuff with RPG mechanics, and you could make your hero. Here, he's kissing a oh, what is it? It's that game with the Russian setting, but he's kissing like a basically a siren that's going to pull him underneath the water and drown him. But it was kind of open ended as far as what you could do in between doing the main story. You could play as a fighter, a thief, or a magic user. In the later games, you could be a paladin. If
Lori
you,
and Lorianne and Corey Cole did these, I think.
yep, yep.
Oh,
And in fact, did you play that newer game they did? It was called Hero U.
yeah, a little bit. I don't know if that, that still around.
No, they did
I guess it's still. Oh, that was
they did
20.
this one, and then they did another one that was like a visual novel or something. They did like two things in this universe. I don't think they're going to do any more. But again, it's a similar sort of same designers, but kind of more updated presentation, of course. And I love what Tom says, right? Those sales are how I ended up with 288 games in my GOG account. And he's not wrong. I mean, it's these, you click a few things before long, you've gotten, like 20 games for 30 bucks or whatever it is. And
It's an MMO, or is this? Am I thinking of something else?
no, no, this wasn't. This was single player.
Wasn't an online.
No, I mean, they have a Discord, but yeah, no, that one's not
Go back
online.
to that game again. It's been too long.
Someone mentioned, I guess we gotta close out here pretty soon, but I wonder if I bet you they have that Colossal Cave game we just talked about on here, right? They
Oh,
do. It's not on sale. That's a missed opportunity, but $25.
you know, it's
Um,
weird that the VR version's cheaper.
that is weird, yeah. And um, it launched at $40, which is really strange, but was their choice.
The
Uh,
greatest adventure of all time.
that's, I mean, it's the first adventure. I'll say that much. And this is kind of cool. So when I did a stream of, or we both did the stream of Colossal Cave on an episode here, and even though it turned out kind of choppy because I had some internet issues, I sent it to Ken Williams, and he passed it along to Roberta, who really enjoyed it. She said it was highly
Oh,
entertaining.
that's nice.
So that's fun to hear that. We had them. Ken and Roberta was on the show. I never thought I'd get them to be on the show. And they showed up on Valentine's Day. And they've been married for like, what is it? 50, maybe not 50 years, but it's been a long time.
I'm just
Uh,
glad we weren't super critical.
right. Yeah. It's, you have them on. I mean, some of these Witcher 2. I mean, so we've just barely scratched the surface of these games
Oh,
on
Icewind
sale
Dale
here.
2 complete. That's another one that I
Oh,
think it's safe that most people have probably played Icewind Dale, but just in case you haven't, oh
I
my
love Icewind
God.
Dale because I think the plot in Baldur's Gate for me with that gameplay style doesn't work as well as I just like that Icewind Dale was just straight up dungeons. Like the
Yeah.
plot is kind of an afterthought. And
People, it kind of got panned a little bit at the time, if I recall,
it did because
but
people
I love it.
it's with the engine. They thought it would be like Baldur's Gate. And I mean it is with the genre, but Metal Jesus did a good interview with Ken and Roberta. That's a good point. Yeah, Metal Jesus rocks. We've been trying to get him for a bit. I mean that's a weird thing. I was at the Portland Retro Game Expo this year with some friends, and you're walking around. I'm like, do I know that guy? And you're just bumping into these YouTube people. But it's strange to see them in real life. I guess I'm a YouTube person now with this show, but um,
Yeah, it's
it
one of
it
my greatest fears. Go to a place like that, and everybody's like, "Hey, Matt." I'm
why is
like,
that a fear? Isn't that
uh,
what? Yeah,
you look
I mean, you want.
familiar.
We'll do 5 more minutes as we
They
wrap
probably
up
think
here.
I was this terrible jerk because I didn't recognize him, you know.
I mean, I had a thing. I spoke at some anime convention about anime in the 90s or something was the topic. I had a guy in his 30s stalk me at the show. I had to sort of, he kept following me and I had to sort of lose him. And I'm like, I haven't had to use that skill set in a while. Uh, but you never, I mean, the
Super
people
fan?
mean well, I think, but sometimes the boundary thing is people can get excited and sort of overlook it sometimes.
Yeah, I
So,
thought about that with your Star Trek crews and
yeah,
the,
it's,
the people, the cast being there and everything.
You're right. I mean, yeah, we're doing that again, this in a few months, and I think we won't do it for a while just because it's expensive. But we've done 3 years in a row, and we've met people there, and it's been fun. But yeah, we were at some of the Star Trek actors were doing a comedy show, and sitting right in front of us were LeVar Burton and Brent Spiner. I could have reached out and tapped him on the head.
But you didn't.
I didn't. I thought
See,
about it, but I didn't.
that's the
And
right
and
thing to do.
not only that, but I didn't ask him like, "Oh, excuse me, but I love you so." I mean, because you're paying all that money for the Star Trek crews for access to those people. Sort of at the same time, they don't want to be bothered, or if they do, it's pretty obvious. Like some people walk around wanting to hug people, and or or more friendly, and others just want to get their free drinks at the bar and um,
Yeah,
sit
it
in the
must be
hotel
kind of
room.
weird social situation to be in. I wouldn't know what to do.
It is it, and it's. I mean,
You don't want to be like the 10,000th guy that day. Oh, I'm not worthy.
right. I mean, well, I'll tell you what. Like I saw two examples of it where one after the other. The first, you can pay to get pictures with these people if you want, which can get expensive. But we did William Shatner one time because it's like, when else am I going to have the opportunity? He's also in his 90s, and in front of us were two people. One were these group of women in their 20s, and they were trying to like jump all over him and hug him, and he seemed pretty irritated. And so his security person was like, "Don't touch Mr. Shatner," blah blah blah. This was also, more when there was more of the COVID stuff, although that's always a risk, especially on cruise ships. That's kind of like a place to get sick even easier than a convention or something. And and then the other person behind us, his reaction to William Shatner was to get down on his hands and knees like we're not worthy. He literally did that and said, "Oh, you're such a hero, sir," blah blah blah. And the look on Shatner's face was just kind of like that guy's seen so much of this stuff his whole career. He was polite, but at the same time, I think it would be really difficult to kind of surprise him or get him to engage, no pun intended, on that.
I think my reaction, I'd probably think maybe the best thing is just treat him like a normal person,
Exactly.
not act like some kind of weirdo.
Right. No, I think that's the thing. They want to be treated just like a normal person. On one
Thank
of the
you. It's good to meet them. I love your
Right.
show.
Yeah,
Like,
one of the elevators they had Jeffrey Combs, who was the main guy in Reanimator,
oh, okay.
and he was Wei Yun and DS9. He's done a lot of Star Trek things, but someone just sort of said, "Oh, Mr. Combs," and he said, "Please, just call me Jeff," which I thought was so cool. But these people were trying to be like you don't recognize him with the mask over the face, but you can tell when it's Brent Spiner with his muffin and coffee trying to play it cool in the elevator, and
Be funny
everyone.
that like Shatner's been in some pretty horrible, obscure movies. It's like one where he's a sheriff, I think, in like Arachnids or something. It'd be
Like
funny
Kingdom
to
of the
make out like,
Spiders
oh, I
or
know you. You're that guy
oh
from
jeez,
Arachnar.
the spider movie. Yeah, I bet I've I've heard once you get to know him, he's really friendly,
Oh,
but I think it also he was like a last minute replacement on this cruise, and I think he wasn't in the best mood because of that. It was supposed to be the actress that's Janeway on Voyager, Kate Mulgrew, right?
yeah.
And she had to drop out because some TV show changed when they were filming. But but yeah, I mean, anyhow, yeah, but
Always seemed like a cool person to hang out with, just from what little I know.
I think so.
It's friendly.
Who else? I can do one last story with these people. Who was it that Jonathan Frakes, who plays Riker? He's super nice. He's nice. He's sincere. Um,
He seems like it.
and I think the real he was also T.J. Hooker, Shatner, of course. Jeremiah, that's great. Troubles with Tribbles is the best television episode ever. I don't know if that's my favorite one, but that's a solid episode of Star Trek, and that's a good one to show people that don't like Star Trek. I think because it's kind of humorous. It's kind of the tone's kind of lighter. It's not heavy on the lore. You get to know
One
the
was Spock. I
characters.
think I remember Spock being in petting a trouble and was like, oh, it makes
Yeah,
noise. It's
right.
like classic Trek there.
Classic episode by David Gerald is the writer on that one. But yeah, anyhow, but hopefully you've enjoyed this Matt Chat Christmas special. I think we should do this next year. I think that turned out
Yeah.
well. The chat was really active. We have a whopping 27 people watching us now.
Don't touch the mats, people.
Don't touch the mats. Hands
Back
away
away.
from the mats. Back away from the mats.
Keep your distance. All right. Well, yeah, everybody have a Merry Christmas. There's plenty of games to keep everybody occupied. I think we
Happy
did a
New
pretty
Year. And
good
if you
job.
get a game from this sale on GOG that you really like, and they're not a sponsor, we just like them, post it in the comments. If there's a game that you liked,
I'll
just
just do
enjoy it.
one last little thing here.
Yep.
You're looking for something cheap for like a stocking stuffer?
Oh, what's that?
If you go to like Home Depot, I don't know where
Yeah.
else these are. There's these that they call them Christmas glasses,
Okay.
and you
3D
put them
glasses?
Christmas glasses.
Christmas glasses. Okay.
They got them in snowflakes and frosty and a little lots of different ones. But the fun thing is, you put them on and look at the Christmas tree or really any light, and you see holograms where the lights are.
That's really cool. I'll have to
It's like
check that
only
out.
a couple, maybe $1 for these, and it's like, I mean, you'll spend a few minutes like, whoa. I mean, I think it'd be a really fun little stocking stuffer.
And one last shout out, Raven Pros just donated $4 in the chat.
Well, thank you, Raven Pros.
So you can get a few games on GOG with that, I think.
Yeah, we can buy 1,000 games for that.
1,000 games for $4. So, all right.
I
Well,
didn't
thanks
even
so
know they
much.
could do that. That's cool.
Yeah, the tipping, we should promote that more, but cool. Okay, great. Well, I'll definitely look at trying to follow up with some of those people we talked about to get them on the show for 2025. And everyone have a nice Christmas, happy holidays.